and welcome to today's video where we will be discussing the pantheon of gods that are present within the world of Elan. Be forewarned, there are major spoilers for the Legends of the First Empire series. That being said, let's get into the video. In the beginning, there was Eton, god of the sky, and there was Elan, goddess of the earth. And as they came together, Eton and Elan gave birth to light, water, time, and the four winds. They also gave birth to Riyria. Elan loved Riyria above all else, even Eton. But while Eton and Elan are immortal, their offspring are not. So inevitably, Riyria eventually died. Elan was grief-stricken, and Eton took pity and granted Riyria immortality, with the exception that Riyria died for 3 months every year. Eton and Elan came together again and had 3 sons, Gar, Earl, and Toth. They would be known as the Typhons. The Typhons are more so elemental forces of nature as opposed to physical beings. Elan loved and spoiled her sons, which made Eton jealous. They were also destructive, so Eton locked them away in the abyss. They can still be felt on the world in the form of earthquakes. Their people are the Grenmorians, or giants. Gar has a Grenmorian son named Gaul. After the Typhons, Eton no longer wanted to create children with Elan. So while Eton was sleeping, Elan stole away 5 of Eton's teeth and planted them in herself. These would go on to birth the 5 Aesira. Turin, also known as Malcolm, Rex Uberlin, and Caradicus, was the eldest. His people would later become the Goblins, or Gazelle. Trilos, also known as the Ancient One, came next. Drome and Farrell were born as twin brother and sister. Farrell's people would become the Frey, or Elves, and Drome's people would become the Belgliglungrians, or Dwarves. The youngest of the Aesira was Mari. Her people would become the Runes, or Humans. Eton did not immediately banish the Aesira, and he and Elan came to the understanding that these 5 would eventually die, and at which point they would be brought into Pyre, the underworld, of which only Eton had the key to open. So the Aesira and their offspring would live and thrive in the city of Erebus for much time. Eventually though, Turin, being the eldest, was nearing his time to die. He was afraid and went to Riyria, who had the gift of immortality from Eton. Riyria gave 2 fruit to Turin, and Turin ate the first fruit and became immortal. This newfound immortality made Turin arrogant, and he thought himself superior to his brethren. It was at this time that he began to go by the name Rex Uberlin. Then, Trilos fell in love with Turin's daughter, Muriel. Turin forbade them from seeing one another, but they defied him, and Turin slayed Trilos. Trilos died and was sent to Pyre, where he would end up in the abyss. Turin used the second fruit from Riyria to make Muriel immortal, thus making sure Trilos and Muriel could never be together. The other Aesira were upset over the murder of their brother, and one by one, they left Erebus, first Farrell, then Drome, then Mari. Outraged when his siblings did not return to the city, Turin began a war against them. He went and slayed Farrell first. Farrell went to Pyre and ruled over Nifril. Then Turin killed Drome, who went to Pyre and ruled over Rel. Last, Turin killed Mari. Mari went to Pyre and ruled over Allison. While Turin was fighting a war against his siblings, Eton sealed Riyria in the sacred grove. Cut off from light and rain, Riyria died. After Turin had defeated his brothers and sister, he went to the sacred grove where Eton had added a door and left it open so Turin could see the consequence of his war. When Turin found Riyria was dead, he went mad and declared war on Eton. He fought his father even though he could not win. At this point, he was so distraught, he hoped that Eton would kill or even unmake him. As they fought, Turin began to soften. Elan, seeing a change in Turin, stepped in and defended him from Eton. Eton stopped, and Elan demanded the key of Eton that could unlock Pyre. While Turin wept for Riyria, the ages passed. The children of Farrell, Drome, and Mari fled west across the sea and were scattered in forest, field, and mountain. Turin's followers remained in the east, but left with his legacy, his example, they became cruel, hateful, twisted things. Elan would go on to tell Turin that through his actions he had broken the world, and that to make things right, he would need to fix it. Turin would start by helping the Fray. This would lead into the events preceding the Legends of the First Empire series. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I'm hoping this will be the first in many videos where we discuss different topics pertaining to the world of Elan and the events of Riyria. Be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications of new videos. Thanks!